Hi guys, welcome to my video. Thank you so much for coming back. This is my second video and I'm really excited about all the videos, the ideas that I have up in here. You just get started and you just want to make more and more and more and more. So today I made quiche. I was thinking of something spring-like and my son actually requested quiche and I thought spring and quiche go hand in hand. So that's what I decided to make. I made it in a keto way, but it also includes crust. So the crust is a keto crust. And I have all the links. The crust isn't my recipe. It's actually from nomnom.com. I'll have that link below in the description. And then I have a recipe that I was inspired by for the asparagus and bacon quiche, and then the Chile Rellenos quiche is my recipe. So I'll have the links to the ones that are not my recipes, and then I'll have my recipe written down in the description box below. So yeah, you guys, I wanted just to say a little more about myself. I had told you that I lost 35 pounds doing keto, and I have about 70 more to go. And I'm not, like, I don't need to have this nice body. I'm 50 years old. I've been married for almost 30 years, and I'm not doing this because I need to look sexy on the beach. But I am doing this because I want to be healthy when my grandbabies are graduating, getting married, and all that. So I do have a reason to live, and it's because I love life and my family means everything to me. Oops, I think I just smashed my microphone, so sorry about that if it was muffled. My family means everything to me, and like I said, I want to see them. I want to see the babies, the family grow. That's what I'm trying to say. I want to see my family grow. So, but I wanted to share with you guys so I talked about my weight last time on my last video, but this time I want to talk about something else. And then, again, it was health. That's why I was getting into that. I'm diabetic, and but I'm super excited about my numbers. So I had my A1C checked probably this time last year, and it was 8.1 or something like that, which is, it's not screaming high, but you want to have it below 5. And so I just had it retested a couple weeks ago, and living this keto lifestyle, I have brought my numbers down to 6.4. So I still have a little ways to go to get it under 5, but I am super excited about doing that because that's, to me, that's more important than the pounds coming off on the scale. So anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying my videos. If you are, please like and subscribe and hit that notification button. I would truly appreciate it because it moves me up on the up the ladder on the food chain, you know what I mean? And more people will be able to see my videos, and I'll be able to share with more people. So thank you so much, and I hope you like my video. Let's get started. I'm just going to run through the crust real quick here. The link to the recipe that I used by nomnom.com will be in the description below. Okay, so my dough is finally ready. Actually, it was a really very easy recipe. Just put everything, as you could see, in the food processor. So I'm going to wrap these up. It's a very soft dough, so they need to go in the freezer for at least 30 minutes. They can go in the refrigerator overnight if you want to make this the night before. So I'm going to put these in the freezer, and when they're ready, I'll get back to you for the next segment. Okay. All right, So we made the dough yesterday and we let it rest overnight. So I am going to now roll it out, and you're supposed to roll it out between 2 pieces of parchment paper. So we will do that because it is a little more delicate than regular dough. So I always kind of, ooh, it's going to be a little hard. So I'm going to push it out a little bit. And this is the pan size that we're putting it in. Now, it actually calls for the kind that has the bottom, the quiche. There's actual quiche pans that the bottom pops out of. But I don't have any of those. This is what I have, and this is what I usually make them in. So I think we'll be okay. So this is pretty cold. So it's going to take a moment to roll it out. So I'm going to do that. Oops, get my swerve out of the way. I won't be using that. It's funny because I don't like to use it like this. You know what I need to do actually? So here's a trick. I need to put a towel underneath my cutting board because it is rolling all over the place. And that is not fun. Okay, yes, much better. I think we're in a good spot. So, let's see. Yep, that looks pretty good. Okay, so let's set that. It feels pretty cold, so that's good. So I'm just gonna flip it over like this. And, oh, I can tell I'm going to definitely need to stick it back in the fridge. It is fragile. Woo! Honey. Honey, honey, yeah. Yeah, I did just sing that, didn't I? That was crazy, since I'm recording myself. Okay, so this is going to be a little pain in the butt, I think, because it is warm. But I'm going to get this off and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, I struggled with that a little bit. So the dough is super, super soft, and I don't recommend rolling it out. I got a little water in there. What I ended up doing is, just because it was, you know, just only part of it was coming apart. I mean, was coming off the parchment paper. I'm putting this on here. I'll tell you why in a second. So what I ended up doing was just putting it in there and using my hands to smash it up the sides. And then I got one of my measuring cups, and at first I sprayed it with cooking spray, but it only worked for like 1 or 2 pushes in there. So I actually just put water on it. And you just stick it on there and push it towards the corner, and it'll make the pie shape. I guess it's not a corner because it's round. There's no corners in round, right? But to the edge to make the, you know, so you get the deep, so it's not, you know, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. You know what I mean, right? To take the shape of the pie pan. How about that? So you just keep rinsing it. And then there was a little bit of residual water on the top, so I just used the paper towel and kind of blotted it off. So that's what I ended up doing. So now we will put this in the oven for about 10 minutes at 350. I have another one to do, so I will get back to you once these are in the oven and we can start preparing our quiche. Let me jump back on here and show you this other technique I figured out that maybe might be a little easier than this one. So what I did is I flattened my dough, and I kind of just put it between the 2 parchment papers, and I bang, bang, bang till it started to spread a little bit. Then I stuck it in here, And then what I thought to do with the parchment paper on here, then to spread it up the side. You know, as you're doing this, give it a little push so it goes up the side, and you can see it's turning out wonderful. So this is what I think is going to be the best way. I mean, you can do it the other way, just do it with your hands. You can be probably more patient and, you know, roll it out, put that back in the fridge after it's rolled out, and then stick it in the pan. That would totally work too, into the pie plate. I am not one of patience. It's kind of funny. I'm pretty creative. I like to do a lot of things, art. I make jewelry. I like to do a lot of stuff. And, but I don't like anything that takes days to make. I have to have a pretty quick return. So like if I'm making jewelry, I need to be able to sit down and finish the piece in one sitting. Those people who can, you know, sew the beads on and it like takes 6 weeks for them to do, that is totally not me. So, okay, it looks a little better than the other one. I am going to use my fingers a little bit because it looks like it's a little thicker over here. So I'll bring some over and put this back on. See how that's kind of thicker? We need to slide it over here, but this will help it get into place. So I finished doing that, and then I'm going to put them in the oven, like I said, at 350 for 10 minutes to get them pre-cooked, par-cooked, basically, before we put it. And then we got to let them cool a bit. See how there's a little more right here, so I'm just going to scoop that off and stick it in here. Oh, actually, I lied. They're not going to go in the oven right now. They're going to go in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes just to get nice and cold again. Then they're going to go in the oven. Okay, that part is finally done. I wanted to pop on here real quick. First, to tell you they actually went in the freezer for 10 minutes. And that has to freeze for 10 minutes, and then they have to bake for 10 minutes. So I decided to start cooking my bacon for one of the recipes. But you guys, this is something very exciting to me. This is the Smithfield thick cut hometown bacon. I know it's not super clean, but it has 0 carbs, and 0 sugar. So that's why I'm fine with that. And it was on sale. But guys, check this out. It has a resealable thing. I'm super excited about that because I don't always cook the whole thing of bacon up. I know, isn't that funny? But we don't, my husband and I work off different schedules. He has a rotating schedule and I'm off on weekends. And so it's only like once every 2 months that we're actually home together on the weekends. So I don't really cook breakfast for us. So I do a lot of food prepping and make like little muffin egg things and a bunch of stuff like that. But I never need to cook all the bacon. So this is a game changer. Thank you. Okay, now it's time to make the quiche. I'm going to do the asparagus, bacon, onion, and Gruyere quiche first. First, you get 4 eggs and you mix them. You beat them, is what you do. Okay, so this is actually a different way to make quiche. It's kind of funny. Quiche is known to be a French dish, but originally quiche is actually from Germany, from an old kingdom. And then France took over and renamed this kingdom or city Lorraine. So that is where quiche Lorraine, the original quiche, came from. And then quiche became popular around the 1950s here in the United States. And it's kind of funny because men, they thought it wasn't manly to eat quiche. So, and there was a saying, real men don't eat quiche. And it was mostly because they were vegetarian. Most quiches were vegetarian. If they did have meat in it, it was a very, very little bit. So I think that is the stupidest thing ever, but that's just my opinion, that real men don't eat quiche. All men I know eat quiche. In fact, my son is the one who asked me to make the quiche, to be honest with you. Okay, so that was 1 1/3 cup of sour cream. Now, the basic sour cream, or excuse me, the basic quiche is made with a custard. The original quiche, let's go back there. The original quiche was just a custard made with eggs and bacon. And it was, you know, like their kind of bacon, like Canadian style bacon. But then it changed and they started adding cheese. And then now you can do anything with quiches, put anything in there that you want. But there's a basic quiche recipe. It's 4 to 6 eggs, depending on how big your pan is. About, let me look at my notes here because I don't remember exactly. Yeah, 1 cup of cream. So 4 to 6 eggs, 1 cup, or I probably should say 1/2 cup to 1 cup of cream, depending on how many eggs you used. 1 cup cheese, about, if you like less cheese. Again, it's like you do you. It's kind of funny. That's why I wanted to start my YouTube channel. It really wasn't to do keto, although I'm really 100% committed to doing keto, but because I wanted to teach people how to adapt recipes to make it their own, to make it to what their, you know, taste palette, what their palate is, you know, what's enjoyable to them. So anyway, back to the story. So basic quiche is 4 to 6 eggs, 1/2 cup to 1 cup of cream or milk, and then 1 cup of cheese, and then 1/2 cup to a cup of whatever vegetables or meat, and then seasonings that you like. I'm going to do garlic and onion powder and a little bit of salt in mine. This recipe, though, this particular one I'm making right now, is a little bit different, kind of the same concept, but a little different. It has 4 eggs and 1 1/2 or 1 1/3 cup sour cream. It's still a cream, but it's sour cream. So that's just a version, and it sounded delicious to me. I've actually never made a quiche that was just sour cream and no cream, so we'll see how it turns out. So anyway, basic recipes you can change into whatever you want. So I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder. Again, whatever you like. I'll probably put about a teaspoon or a little more. And, you know, another thing about cooking is just get out there and start doing it. You know, it's not rocket science. Baking, maybe a little bit. But cooking, it's just putting together flavors that you like. And I learned how to cook basically from 2 places, Food Network and the internet. And basically now I'll have an idea. I might not know exactly how to cook it or bake it or whatever, so I'll look it up in the on the internet or find a YouTube. And then I know my basics, like, okay, it needs to cook for this long. It needs to have these certain ingredients in it, but I can change my seasonings. I can change my vegetable. I can change. So all of those things are, you know, you just do it. And sometimes it doesn't work out, but most of the time it does. Don't be afraid. All right, so I'm going to get my quiche pie, my cooked pre-baked, oops, it's a little warm, my pre-baked crust that we made earlier. So again, basic for quiches. You start with, I'm going to put in the bacon, and this is about I think it's 4 strips of bacon, and they were the thicker strips. And then it called for a whole onion, but my onions were really big, so I just did a 1/2 onion. So you throw the onion in there. Pre-cooked, all of that's pre-cooked. And then we're going to add some cheese. And I have a little extra cheese here because I'm going to put some of it in the other quiche as well. So, cheese. And then, to make it fancy, actually, I think we will even cut those a little smaller. Let me get my handy dandy knife here. Okay. So, we'll put this in the sink, give me some more room. Again, I have a really small kitchen, so sometimes it's hard to work with. That one's a little crazy looking. So let's start with, and the tips are the most tender, so you don't have to make it all that pretty, seriously. You could even have just mixed everything in the bowl and poured it in there. I'm just doing it like this to show you all, you know. See, he's a little longer. Usually I don't care, but since I'm trying to make a good impression, I want it to look pretty for you guys. But when I'm just cooking, I mean, as you saw in my last video, which mind you was my very first video, so I guess it was okay, but I was like licking my fingers and putting it back in the bowl, and I was, you know, I guess we all learn from our mistakes. We can only get better, right? Okay, so we have our little asparaguses in there. Maybe I should just do some little tips in the middle. Make it so pretty. Again, I would never do this on my own because I actually, like I said before, I'm kind of impatient. Okay, so we have the asparagus in there. Now we're gonna pour the custard in. And sometimes you gotta wait for it to settle a little bit. I love this bowl because you can pour out of one side. It's fabulous. It's an old bowl. It was my mom, I think it was my husband's dad's. He's passed away now. But it's one of my favorite bowls to use. Oh, see, it did really good. Let me get my, my spatula. That smells good. Okay, so kind of just push it in there a little bit, make sure that custard is all the way to the edges. Okay, so this goes in the oven. I think I messed up my little guys. Again, putting my fingers in there. It's okay. I'm gonna be the one eating it unless I take some of it to work. Kind of cool, my bosses are doing keto too, so we are, it makes it a little easier when you have someone, especially at work, that's doing the same diet you're doing, or lifestyle. It's not really a diet, is it? Okay, so this goes in the oven at 350 for 25 to 30 minutes. My oven cooks a little hot, so I'm gonna start at 25. And I'm actually gonna turn down the temperature to 325 because it does get a little hot. Okay, so I am gonna get prepared for the next quiche and I'll get right back to you. Okay, we're ready to make our second quiche. This quiche calls for 6 eggs, so we'll beat those. Now, I used to make this quiche called Chile Rellenos quiche, and I'm actually gonna call this the same thing. But the Chile Rellenos quiche that I made was crustless. And it had flour and, what did it have in it? It called for cottage cheese, the original recipe, but I always use sour cream, and half sour cream, half cream cheese. And anyway, and it had baking powder, and it went into a big casserole, and then it rose, and it was really fluffy. So I decided to kind of change it and make it into one with a crust. So that's what we're doing here. So we have 6 eggs and 1 cup of cream. So this one's actually using cream. And if you don't want to use a crust, if you don't want those extra carbs, I think the crust I'm making is, I want to say 4 net carbs per slice, which is fine because this isn't very much. But if you wanted to not have those, you can totally make this and pour it in probably like an 8x8 glass dish and cook it, and it would just be a crustless quiche, and it still would be delicious. So again, my seasonings that I always add: garlic, onion powder. I forgot to put salt in the other one, but it's probably okay because it has a lot of bacon and cheese in it. Excuse me, by the way, if you heard me kind of stumbling over my words right there. So let's give this a little mixy mix. And this one I'm just going to add the chilies to it. So it's one large can. I think it's 7 ounces. Yeah, 7 ounces of chili. I'm trying not to use my hands. I have a tendency of just like sticking my finger in there and scooping everything out. So I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to be on my best behavior. I love green chilies. I don't like anything spicy. And that it's sad because I love the flavor of peppers. Hence these green chilies. They're not spicy and I love them. I just love the smell of them. They're so good. Anything green chili makes me happy. Okay, so another pie crust. And I'm going to add a little cream cheese, and I'm just going to pinch it in there using my fingers. I'm just going to pinch. I don't know if you guys can see me. Let me move this out of there into the garbage sink. And we'll just pinch this around. It's got to be soft, or if it's cold, you can cut it up into little squares. It's better than if it's soft though, because those squares tend to not like really melt in. They kind of stay in chunks. I mean, I guess, excuse me, if you like little pops of cream cheese, I guess that's okay. Again, you do you. You do you. And this is a ugly rag. I probably shouldn't have it out for you guys to see. Okay, and I had said I saved the Gruyere for for this one, but I ended up putting it away, and because I really felt like we needed cheddar. So this is actually Dublin cheddar, so it's a white cheddar. It's going to be rich and yummy. And this is 1 cup ish, maybe a little more in there. And I know I get talking and I forget to give you the recipe. I'm so sorry, but I'll definitely have the recipe below written up for you guys. Hey, if you guys are liking what I'm doing here, please subscribe. I would love if you would subscribe and like my video, and then hit the notification, and then it'll notify you, let you know when I have a new video out. I'm trying to do, well, I'm going to do at least 1 a week. I'm trying to do it more than that, but, oh, I probably, see, look, I wasn't paying attention. I was talking. This is real. This is real. I'm messing up right in front of you. I'm going to get a towel to kind of soak that up, because we really don't want that egg up on the crust like that. I mean, if it is, it's not going to be bad. It's just going to be a very full piece. It'll probably look beautiful when we pull it out, when we cut it. So this is going to go in the oven now for, again, 350 for 25 to 30 minutes. What was I saying before? I can't remember. Or, oh, I was talking about liking and subscribing. Huh? That's so funny. Okay, so in the oven, 350. We'll start at 25 minutes. I'm going to keep this one at 350 because I'm using my convection oven. And we'll start that. So when the quiche is done, it has to cool for about 30 minutes. Quiche is fine at room temperature. And then I will show you what it looks like. And this time I might even take a taste. Okay, they've baked and they've cooled. And this is the asparagus one. It didn't turn out so pretty even when I tried to make it pretty. And this is the chili rellenos. So I cut them, and let's see how they look when I pull them out. So chili rellenos, you know, the first one's always the messiest. There's a little crust in there, but that's okay because it'll give me a chance to eat the crust separately. So there's that one. And then let's grab this one. So just so you know, oh, that one came out nice. This one actually took longer. It actually needed 400 degrees. No, I cooked it for 350 for 45 minutes, and then I turned it out to 300 degrees because it was getting really brown, and cooked it for another 20 minutes. So it took like an hour and 5 minutes. And I've looked on some directions, and some of them cook them for 400 degrees for the first 15 minutes and then cook them for 30 minutes at 300 degrees. So that's probably what I should have done. Either way, it looks perfect now. This one just cooked at 350. I think I put it in for extra 10 minutes, so for 40 minutes. So let's take a taste. So this is the one with the bacon, sour cream instead of the cream, and then it had the grilled onions and or sauteed onions and asparagus. So let's take a taste. Yeah, that's pretty good. It tastes like quiche. The crust amazingly tastes like crust. That's delicious. Okay. Now, here's the real verdict on the crust. Let me give the crust a taste. It's flaky, definitely falling apart. By itself, I can taste the lemon in it though. That's a nice little surprise. It's okay, but it really works. So like I wouldn't think that crust would be good to make crackers or anything with, although you probably could add flavoring. And if it was cooking, if it was thinner and just baking on a sheet or roasting on a sheet, I think that it probably would be okay. But it's a little moist, but it tastes good. All right, let's taste the chili rellenos. Let's see. That one's good. I love green chilies. This one is so good. Okay. So this is the chili rellenos. They have the green chilies and the cheddar cheese. This one had Gruyere and the asparagus. Oh, you know what? Let me try the asparagus. Oh, cooked perfectly. Okay. I thought maybe I needed to saute them first, but I guess that totally works. Just roast them in the oven. So here you go. 2 quiches for you to try this spring. Well, there you go. Thank you for watching my video on keto quiche. Again, I'll have all of the links below in the description of how to make the crust, of the recipe that inspired me for the asparagus bacon quiche, and then I will list my recipe. I will also put the net carbs down there so you can have that information as well. I'm really having a good time, so I really hope you guys are enjoying my videos. I just ordered some keto, I think keto chow, some chalk zero, and some perfect keto items. These are all new to me. I've only watched videos, YouTube videos of people who use them and take them, and I'm curious how they are and if they're as wonderful as they look like they are, or are claimed to be. And so I thought I would do a video on me actually opening the boxes and tasting the items for the first time to give you my honest opinion. So, got a little scratchy voice. It's been really windy here. I live in Northern California, and I work in Sacramento. Actually, I work all over Northern California. I am an interior designer for a staging company, and the wind has been blowing, but the sun's been shining, which has been lovely. But it's been giving me a little tickle in my throat from allergies. So I apologize for the little scratchy voice. Anyway, so yeah, so I'd like to do that little unveiling of the boxes to you and give you my opinion. And then I have some other ideas. I have another video that's going to come up quickly because I've already made it. And yeah, so if you guys have ideas, I think we're going to do an Eastern meal. I might even include a table setting, a tablescape in that, just because I am a designer. So I thought I'd throw a little bit of that in there as well. All right, you guys. So thank you so much for watching my videos. Again, subscribe, like, and hit the notifications so you can see, you can know when I have a new video released. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank you so much for watching, and I wish you many blessings. Hugs. Bye-bye.